Welcome back, YouTube. Renaissance here with G and J.
Back again.
Here's our post fight reaction to the Errol Spence title fight. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, welterweight title fight for the WBC and IBF welterweight championship belts last night at the Cowboy Stadium. What'd you think about the fight, Jay?
I mean, it didn't disappoint. From round one, a lot of action, a lot of figuring out. Like, okay, so usually when you got a fight like this, where the talent levels, I wouldn't say are super close, but it's a certain level where you got to feel each other out. You could tell that they were feeling each other out, but they're so rough of a caliber of fighter that it was still entertaining. It was still rough, even while they were having that little jab and counter match. You know what I'm saying? And we got to see those skills. You know what I mean? That a lot of them don't get to use because they just knock people out so early or just overwhelm people like Errol usually does, and he kind of did that today too. So, or last night, I should
say. It was so one-sided, unexpectedly to me for Danny Garcia. I didn't. If again, like the Mikey Garcia fight, I didn't think Errol was going to dominate as much as he did. Technically, I thought if he did dominate against Mikey Garcia, if he did dominate against Danny Garcia, it would have been more because of his physical attributes or because he was bullying him. But this was a technical mismatch. Like, how did you feel about as the fight went on? Did you think Danny had a chance after round 5?
No, with our previous, I guess, tail of the tape type thing going on. I mean, I pretty much knew that he was not versatile enough to deal with whatever adjustment that Errol was going to make. Now, initially Errol did kind of come straight into him, but he kind of settled into it and kind of mastered that distance. Now, really, in the first round, Danny was trying to counter with his left hook, and he touched Errol a couple of times, not too flush, but it was good and bad in a way. It was a double-edged sword because he did catch him, but Errol got comfortable very early. Very early, because he's like, oh, okay, I felt that on the top of the head. I'm coming right through that.
It's over now.
So, I mean, it was a gift and a curse at that moment, because after that, Errol kind of mastered the counter game from long distance and mid, and his offense was so good on the inside that he pretty much dominated every level of it. So, I mean, Danny was really out there just trying to move and not get, overwhelmed by a barrage. I mean, he boxed well, but it just wasn't a lot that he could do with the current skill set that he has.
Being a shorter guy all my life, one of the worst things you can do is if you're, engaging with someone tall, is to just concede to boxing outside. You are not supposed to box outside. Even if you're more athletic like Pacquiao, if you're fighting with somebody that's good enough, I mean, sooner or later, they know you have to do something drastic to get in. So there's only so many ways you can come forward. You can come in from the right side, you can come in from the left side, you can come down the middle, or you can come from underneath when you come up the middle, or underneath when you come up those angles. But the person's just waiting for you. When you when you commit to one side, then you only have 2 avenues. You have to come up over, under, or 3 avenues, over, under, straight through, but your body still has to come forward. So you're just getting caught. And I didn't do a pre-fight, like a pre-fight this week. Jay did do a pre-fight prediction, but I pretty much felt out Danny Garcia's game plan last night. It just came to me, or early that morning. Danny is going to he's going to come forward and he's going to want Errol Spence to commit. Errol Spence might be a little rusty, like he said. So he felt that he may be a little bit sharper. So he's going to come forward like he's going to throw more punches, and he actually did throw more punches than he normally does. But what he wanted to do is get Errol Spence to commit and counter. And my thought for Errol Spence was that he is going to counter his counter and keep his distance. I knew he was going to do it, but Jesus, like every round, it wasn't even close. And then he hit him finally. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen if Errol get hit? And I actually didn't like the way Errol was responding, but I keep forgetting Errol's so much taller than them. You saw that it was a distinct size difference or height difference. It looked like it was 5'10" versus 5'8" or 5'7". And he's so much taller than him at that weight class that he's the more slender guy. I mean, we got to just say it now. He's the more slender guy and it's showing more and more as he fights these shorter and shorter fighters. But apparently, he's still just as strong, if not stronger than all of them. As Danny
Now,
said after the fight. Go ahead.
you know what the most. It was a perfect example of that. Right before that, with the what's the dude name?
John
Mutant
Porter?
dude. No, Fundura, 6'6", 155 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were just
What
talking
you,
about that. Yeah.
what,
This might be a prelude.
what you gonna do about it?
What you this, this might be the
What you
prelude.
gonna do? What you gonna do when a dude can throw an uppercut at his waist? You say, bap,
Upcut his
bap.
way a yard away from you. He doesn't even have to
checking your
step.
chin,
Just
checking your chin with every last one of them. He throwing uppercuts like jabs, boy. You up out of here.
the same rules don't apply. They say uppercuts aren't arm punches, hooks aren't arm punches. But when I'm all the way over here and it takes a country mile to get there, I've already built up speed and velocity to to give me the amount of force that a short guy would have to torque in his body. I'm just gonna put this around your head real quick. Sheep. Just throwing punches, going around your guard and stuff. He said after the fight that they asked him who was, what was the difference between him and the other three guys or other two guys? The other two guys being Keith Thurman, who Danny Garcia lost a close decision to, and
Mm,
Sean Porter, who he lost a larger margin of a decision to, but most people that watched it said it was really close. He said
right.
he's stronger and he has a better jab. Well, that's it. He's not the same. He said
Errol's
this.
Errol's jab is more consistent than everybody we just named. Errol's jab is more of a pump that can actually hurt you with his jab, and he doesn't play around with it. You know what I mean? Like Porter uses it in a lot of different ways, but he usually uses it as a rangefinder. And then you got Thurman, who kind of just flicks it out there so he can hit you with a bomb, and you can see coming a mile away. That's why he's not knocking nobody out anymore. So, it's just interesting to see how cerebral Errol is. If you don't hurt me badly, I'm not changing my game plan, and I'm coming right through your mouth again. And what you gonna do about it? You gonna get knocked out, or you gonna run? You got two choices.
Oddly enough, Errol said he was a little tired after the fight, and he doesn't like boxing. He says it's boring to him, straightforward, and no, straight with no chaser, as usual. But just into next steps, what happens to Danny, man? Is he at the bottom of the heap? Is he not as good as people projected him to be? Like, what's going on with him?
I would say that he's in the early Zab category. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
But Here's the thing, though. He has more discipline than Zab, so it's not like he's gonna, hit a cliff unless just everybody, figures out a way to start using Spence's plan, which I really don't see happening because people don't got gas like that, or the boxing knowledge to keep that pace up like Errol does. There's only maybe a couple fighters I can see doing that efficiently. Of course, Errol. I could see Crawford doing that. I could see Boots probably doing that, even though he's a baby in the game right now, and maybe one or two other guys in the division. But I mean, that's a tall task. But as far as going back to Zab, I would say, like right around probably one or two fights after Floyd, where he still had the acclaim, but you could tell that there was a little bit of something missing. You know what I mean? But he had the potential to either stay on that level, gain again, or the latter. Kind of just descending and not really getting back to that
that's
level
what
again.
right. That's what he could do. He can come back and be a two-time champion. I think that should be his goal. A multi, weight division, multi repeating, champion. I think he should do that. So in his next fight, he shouldn't fight Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, or Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. He should fight maybe a Ugas, maybe some of these up and coming guys that he can get into a war with, or maybe not Virgil Ortiz yet, but he could have a big war with Virgil Ortiz to be a stepping stone for Virgil Ortiz, or to be a close fight that they can do rematches in, and he can end his career on these rematches with these guys he can go to war with. So
Right
next,
now,
go ahead.
I was going to say about that, and you had a good point in there. I was thinking, how Philly kind of has a black eye in boxing right now, and
Who
it
does?
kind of Philadelphia kind of has a black eye in boxing right now Because I mean, it kind of started with
Julian Jackson.
nah, before that, before that, what's our boy Bernard Hopkins? That was a sad go out.
He's old,
Then
bro.
don't matter. That was Philly's king, bro. Then he went out. Then what's our dude just fought Danny Jacobs? He fell off a super cliff. Then you had Julian get knocked out. Now you got Danny kind of coming off his pedestal a little bit. Who else is out there other than guys at 130 that we don't really know as stars just yet?
Right. Unless
Like
you the top
cool
dog.
cool boy Steph. That's about it. And
Right.
he's still not proven, but we're gonna see.
Right. But unless you top dog, that's what's going to happen in your state. Most of y'all are going to get beat, or city or region. Most of you guys are going to get beat in succession or as you guys get older. And then the one guy from the one state is going to make his state look real good. Now, it's just so happened that Texas got a lot of them, and they messed around with the same types of trainers. Ronnie Shield has specialized in and number one, he's been around. The biggest problem is that Ronnie Shields, who trains Jamal Charlo, has been around the game far too long for these young trainers to I guess, think him as far as training for a fight. And then you got Derek James, who has two premier athletes and who fought as well, train these guys, who's actually good. So it's just gonna be hard. I mean, Texas is running things, but that leads me to Errol.
Hold on, before you go to this, and I know you're not gonna forget your point. And Derek James said this after the fight. He said, "Man, how they not gonna give it to me? Man, I got two unified champions." But he was like, "You know what? They gonna find somebody to put in front of me. We gonna see. It's
No,
gonna be hard this year, though."
that's gonna be blasphemous. Yeah, that's gonna be blasphemous if they do it. They're gonna try to give it to Teofimo Lopez trainer.
Oh, absolutely. But I like that he said it like that. You know what I mean? In a way that doesn't attract too much attention to him, but he addressed it.
Right. Errol Spence. What's next for him? Logically, just you logically.
Recovery and enjoying his time, because I'm sure he put his body under an enormous amount of stress to make sure that he didn't have any doubts about his body. So recovery, don't blow up, enjoy some time with your family, and don't take too long. I would say maybe a month, and jump back in the gym, no excuses. Outside of that, his team is going to be coming up with a game plan that entire time. I expect him to kind of be in communication with Al Heyman probably within the next week or two, and just kind of start some balls rolling. Pacquiao's in the mix. I mean, he sent out a text, or not a text, but a tweet, I believe, congratulating him and Danny for the effort. And then you also have Bud Crawford, that was at the fight looking real dapper, I must say. That might have been the best I've seen him dressed. But and I thought it was interesting that he didn't get in the ring. I'm not sure if that is,
COVID and promotional. They said he left right after the fight.
Oh, cross promotional, right. But it's just good to see him, and that puts him on people's minds, and the casuals got a chance to see him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people pretty much know him at this point, but he needs to be fresh on people's minds since he's not on social media or whatever every day.
I mean, the next two fights, what do you think and when?
First, you think he's going to stay at 147 for both of those fights?
Yeah, he said he got to unify. That's the primary objective.
So, if that's the case, then he only has two choices.
What do you think after everything you've seen and everything we talked about? What do you think?
I think more realistic, it'll probably be Pacquiao. As far as the examples that we've been given with the promotional difficulties on the top ranked side. So I would probably lean towards that. What other options do we have that are good?
So, I mean, no, I agree with that. So the first fight, you feel like Pacquiao, he said he wants to fight in the summer. Maybe there's nothing going to be held at that stadium in the summer, and maybe they can have guests again. COVID will be at its least lethal in the summer. And by then they may have vaccines that people are willing to take, So maybe a bigger attendance, better pay-per-view build, Pacquiao going out. He's a legend, his following, et cetera, use this domination to go into that fight. So if the Crawford fight happens after that, when do you think it happens?
And so you're saying what summer month
Summer,
was the
summer. I
Crawford
don't
fight?
know. July,
Okay.
June,
Mm.
May, May for
I was
real.
I was I was gonna say May or September. That would be the best, as far as pay-per-view numbers would be concerned, and try to get the Cinco de Mayo crowd
If
out there.
Canelo does not, if Canelo messes up for some reason and does not fight on Cinco de Mayo, I would take it, but I doubt he's going to give that up.
Or you could do 9/11. You could do that again.
No, Juneteenth. Woohoo!
Al Heyman was talking about that. I forgot. I forgot.
Get the ooh, and he said summer. He said summer for a reason. We're getting the
Yep.
Juneteenth joint. We're getting the Juneteenth joint at Cowboy Stadium against Manny Pacquiao for the
Because he,
cool, for
cause,
the
cause,
culture.
cause he
For the
said that. Al Heyman said that, and I believe I heard Leonard Ellaby hint at it as well.
It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. Errol Spence gets the pay-per-view for Juneteenth. It's on. It's over. It's a wrap.
Because I don't think nobody really knew what the culture was going to be for Juneteenth this year. I knew it was going to be bigger, but it was beyond my expectation. And as far as promotional goes, I'm sure that the businessmen, especially within our community, were like, okay, we might be able to do something with this and benefit our community at the same time,
Right.
especially Al Heyman.
Even if Juneteenth does not fall on
We
Juneteenth
good.
falls on Saturday, June 19th, 2021. It's set up.
You
It's
got to
set
turn to
up.
the side. You got to turn to
It's,
the side and give him that Jordan.
it's set up. The
Mm-hmm.
Kobe.
I
Oh,
need
it's
that.
over. We called
We
it.
need that.
We called it. We called that one. Okay. Um, MLK Day is like a I keep forgetting like the exact uh marker for MLK Day every year, like the fourth Monday of January or something like that, or second Monday. Let me see.
Mhm.
Um MLK Day is, let's see. This holiday is similar to others. King's birthday is January 15th. Yeah. But it's observed on the third Monday of January each year. So you can't fight on, the Crawford fight. Because if we start making this a cultural thing, like the Latinos have made it, Puerto Ricans fighting on like a Puerto Rican Independence Day or
Right.
something of that nature.
The
The
day of the
Mexicans
Puerto
fighting
Rican
on
parade in
right.
New York.
Mexicans fighting on Cinco de Mayo, and then fighting on Mexican Independence Day. The black people, we gotta get our stuff together too. I'm sure Irish got something together. The Polish, I'm sure, if as far as Caleb Plant, they can market him more. Fight on 4th of July for America's independence. You got to market these dudes. You got to get the game plan together. So this is coming together. So we got to find another black holiday and some black symbolism to fight Crawford on, unless you wait a whole year, and hopefully you don't, because you got to have
Hey
that
man,
fight soon. Got that fight soon.
you know what I just thought about? First, my first just thought, jumping out thinking about Caleb Plant. I'm like, man, they should just market this dude as a hood version of Captain America because you really could do that. Dirty blonde, good looking dude, beautiful wife, compelling ass story, ridiculous hands, crossover value. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude is
Let me
valuable. They
see.
not they not doing everything they could for him. Like they're not doing everything they could for this dude. I'm talking about he could be a super duper star if they do it right. He got the sauce. You know what I'm saying? He's what Jake Paul is trying to be.
Yeah. You shaking your lane.
Yeah.
So I was looking for February 21st. I was looking for some other um symbolic days. February 21st, 2021. Watch it gonna come together. Watch it gonna come together. Watch it gonna come together real quick. Watch it gonna come together. Watch it gonna come together. Let me see. Let me just look at the calendar real quick.
I
While
believe
we
it was
here.
Bernie Mac that said everything come together like butt cheeks.
Whoa. Let me see, bro. They about to mess up. All right, 2020, 2021. Ooh, I just missed it. Malcolm X was murdered on February 21st. That's a Sunday. That's one day. Missed it by one day.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They'll find something. They'll find something. So he definitely, I feel like he's going to fight Pacquiao on Juneteenth for the culture. Ooh,
Hmm. Hmm.
basketball made.
Hold up. Anybody fighting for Black History Month?
There you go. Deontay Water might, but we're gonna get that to. We're gonna give that to Errol Spence, and we're gonna give it to. I mean, and again, it's in February, so you fight on February 20th, the day before Malcolm X's assassination, in Black History Month, close
And
to the end of the month.
I believe MLK's birthday is in that month as well.
It might be or January. I think it was January 15th. They said.
Yeah,
I
it's
forgot.
somewhere in there.
But
And
you
then
just
just on some random black facts, I believe Michael Jordan's birthday is February 17th. But you know,
it's going down. It's going down. So we're gonna have the what is it, the Valentine's Massacre? Something like that. They can call it the Valentine's Massacre.
yo,
They can
that'd be
call it
dope.
the Black History Month mashup. You could do all types of things.
Ooh,
Um
now, hey, since the WBC want to come out with a Black Lives Matter bill, what's up?
the
What's on
black
it?
the black
Promote.
ex no, it gotta be a
Yeah,
super you gotta make it
yeah.
the Muhammad Ali belt or the like oh no, this is what you gotta do. You gotta add some sweetness to the pot by recognizing past super fights like whatever I think it was called the Brawl Montreal when Sugar Ray Leonard fought Roberto Duran. I forgot
Right.
what it was called when he fought Tommy Hearns. Like you gotta use some names. You gotta bring people on stage with their counterpart who they had a war with. Um,
These fight names have kind of fallen off a little bit. At the same
mm,
time, I mean, how many descriptions can you give to a fight that hasn't been used before?
right,
But you know, we got to find better ways to be creative to make them super iconic. Since the system is flooded more than it ever has been with that type of content.
right. This might we're gonna bleed into so many other videos, but I think that was a good one. Errol Spence dominated. He is the top welterweight right now. Who's to say whether or not he's pound for pound? But Terrence Crawford is great. He just hasn't fought the same caliber of fighters at this weight class. So the number one
Right.
dude, Errol Spence, has two belts, the WBC and IBF. I forgot who. I think Manny Pacquiao has the WBO, and then Terrence Crawford has the WBA. But we know who the A side is right now. Maybe that can change. There's gonna be a lot of shit talking on Sports Center this week, or a lot of pandering for the fight. We're gonna see how that
Yeah.
go.
And
But
we got to be careful with the ESPN bias because they're trying not to be, but they still got connections to Bob Arum. And
all right, I mean,
I'm not gonna knock them for that, but let's look through it with the proper lens. You know what I'm
all right,
saying? Because
and that's what I'm saying. The pandering will start.
they still got right because they still got Errol what like 3 or 4. They might have him 2 now, but they definitely gonna have Crawford still number 1. Now with that being said, BoxRec and all the like in how can I say the most reputable boxing sources all have Errol Spence number 1. I believe they all had Danny at like number 6 or 7, and I think they had Crawford at 2 or 3. Can't
All
remember.
right, I know. I mean, everyone should have him number one as far as the welterweight, but as far as pound for pound, they're gonna move Errol up. They're gonna keep Terrence Crawford number one pound for pound. I mean, look, well, they're just gonna have to fight. They're gonna have to fight, and that's another video when we get closer to it. But we're looking for Juneteenth, Manny Pacquiao, Cowboy Stadium, June 19th, 2021. Renaissance. We out.